So good afternoon, everybody. And wonderful topic on the table today to explore from panic to pratyahara. How many of you are regular practitioner of yoga, mindfulness, meditation? Will you please raise your arm? Or you do this from time to time? No one? You can always shake your head like Indians, we do this. A little right, little left, it's like yes, no, maybe. Quite a huge bandwidth of information can fit in. So I'm a yoga psychologist, and today I'm gonna walk you through this. I find it a very interesting topic, Pratyahara. And when we were deciding on the name of this talk, actually this is gonna be a bit of a talk, bit of a practice. I said, no, we should name it Panic to Pratyahara. And the suggestion came more thoughtfully. It was not just playing with the words and saying, "Arey isko koi naam diya jaye," and let's put Panic to Pratyahara and all that scenario. So yes, welcome on board. And the golden rules of our time together is it's a dialogue, not a monologue. Even though maybe I will be talking for 60-70% of the time, feel free to chip in with your valuable inputs, advice, thoughts, and so we can co-build this our understanding on this topic. Okay, that's a wish. So let's see how we move forward with this. And I was trying to take some notes on this topic, and then I said, like, it's pretty monotonous and boring to write words. So I was scribbling on my notepad, and I drew this. Don't judge my ability to understand human mind or yoga based on my drawing skills, please. That's a humble request, but this is something that I would like to start talking with. So imagine, I mean, some of you drive for sure. Imagine you went for a long drive. Let's say you went to Bangalore, and from Bangalore you came to Mysore after 2.5 long drive, and you entered the property in Indus Valley. You parked your car under some shade, and then you left the car and you went to your cottage, to your room. When you have done that, the only thing you either forgot or you have made a conscious decision to not to turn off the ignition of the car. So the engine stays on, and you went to your cottage, and you spent the night. Next morning you decided to drive around the city, and you go to your car. What will be the condition of the car? What will you find in the car when you enter the car? Possibly all the gas gone because the engine was turned on all night long. Even though the car stayed static, but the battery, the fuel is exhausted. And this car represents, metaphorically speaking, our inner state, and that we live day in and day out. And it might not be you, but for sure you know somebody who does this on an ongoing basis. By this, what I'm referring is, like, sometimes we forget to turn off the switch. And we think we are resting, but we simply ignore to turn off the switch. That's one stage, and then there could be another stage which happens quite often, that we don't know how to turn off. I don't know if you remember, at least back in India, in mid-80s, 90s, there used to be this scooter. They had no electric start. You have to kick start those scooters. And one of the challenging thing was, if the spark plug had dust in it, you have to kick 1,000 times for those scooters to get started. And I know people, actually it includes my own dad, who will not turn off the scooter if he had to stop somewhere for a very short while, because he was very afraid. God knows if it will start on again or not. You might find this funny, but it's a literal condition where our engine, our own body, sometimes we don't know how to take a stop. And if we take a stop, we don't know how to restart ourselves. And I'm referring to with the body, I'm referring with the mind, and this continues to happen on and on. And obviously the outcome of this is it drains our energy. It drains our energy, and not only that it drains our energy, we kind of start living in a paradoxical world. We come to home, and even if you look at your smartwatch, if you're wearing a smartwatch, the first foremost indicator about your rest is the number of hours of sleep. This is one of the basic things that your smartwatch will tell you. Oh, you have slept tonight 7 hours, you have slept 6 hours or 12 hours, doesn't matter. It's measured in hour. But sleep is not a subject to be measured in hours. It's the quality. If you don't have a deep, profound sleep, it's a wastage of time. It's just like you plug your cell phone at the end of the day, you want your phone to get recharged, but the charger is super slow or faulty that even after you're plugged in for straight 7-8 hours, your cell phone is not charged. And if I may say this, and I know I might trigger a debate around this, sleep is not the best way to rest. Yet, sleep is the default way for us to get into a resting state. So if we are spending some time sleeping, it's not necessarily a bad thing. So I'm not trying to promote here that you should not be sleeping or you should be sleeping more. Sleep is the default setting. There are other efficient ways to relax and rest the mind, and that's one of the subjects that we are going to explore today. Now, we have to also acknowledge that we, the human being living in the modern society, we have educated ourselves very nicely to bypass our inbuilt urge to rest and relax, and we can consciously push ourselves to sleep deprivation. We say we are on the top of the food chain in the animal kingdom. We are the best of the best. But in terms of understanding the body and respecting the body, my dog does it better than me. I cannot convince my dog, listen, this is Saturday evening, let's go and party till late. When it's his time to take a nap, he will simply walk out of the room and go to rest. But if I want to convince my best friend whom I'm meeting after a year or so, I said, hey, listen, we haven't seen each other for a while. Let's party this evening. Let's go for a drink, or let's just sit and chit chat or watch Netflix. Even though he might not have slept for a good number of weeks, he will say, okay, let's do it. So he can make a conscious choice to not to sleep. And this is not necessarily a fantastic quality. It might have helped us at certain point, but when these habits are repeated on and on, it is not gonna do any good to us. Very recently, I read this quote, and I don't want to name it who said it, but somebody, a very world-renowned motivational speaker, author, said it, resting is rusting. I will rest when I'm dead. If I had the good fortune to meet this person face to face, I would have politely reminded him to not to promote such kind of statement, because resting is not rusting. Resting is more about lasting longer. If you are not well rested, we are gone. We are gone prematurely, and we will create a lot of exertion within our body. It will be like this car which we haven't turned off the engine and we left it overnight long. The engine will be warm, engine will be hot, exhausted, and even if we try to refuel it, we might need to put in lot of energy resources to keep it functional, and it will have a high chances to go through a breakdown. So the idea is we should rest. We understand the importance of resting. Now the point is there a way we can rest smarter, or how should we approach this? Now there's something, I work as a yoga psychologist. I have been working as a yoga teacher for the past 25 years almost now. And some of my main students, they are very elite performers. They come not from, they don't represent Olympics or something of that sort, but if there was an Olympic for the business world, they are all highly professional elite performers. CEOs and the CFOs of different companies. And there's one thing that I have noticed in their behavior, the one who really lasts and one who makes a consistent positive impact is this. So there's two categories of people out there. One category understands that between two mountain peaks there is a valley, and then another category who's boosted by the ego, they say there is no valley between two mountain peaks, and they try to constantly climb up the ladder. The professional ones, the elite performers, they belong to this category A, and they understand resting and they respect this valley profoundly. Now, with this, I'm coming to the point that if we acknowledge that there should be a valley between two peaks, we will also understand that in our day-to-day life, if we understand the circadian rhythm, if we understand the limitation of our body, if we want to really perform at our best, we need to adopt some habits which will keep our performance at the best, and that is conscious resting. In fact, I often say this: peak performance is proportional to conscious resting. Conscious resting might sound like a more of a Western word, doesn't represent much, or it might feel, okay, no, I need to take a nap, I'm conscious about it, so I'm going to my room, stretching my legs and taking a short power nap or something like that. I will say this conscious resting is the first stage of Pratyahara. And what exactly I mean by Pratyahara is my senses which are constantly plugged to the outside world. They should be invited to return back to the body. Instead of looking outward, we need to look within. And what happens when we look within? There are changes takes place and we develop wisdom. We actually tap into our wisdom. You know, you might have heard some wise people, let's say an example could be Steve Jobs or some wise man from any world. And we have always associated the word, this person, he has a lot of insight. Insight is the word which naturally indicate the person could connect to the wisdom and understanding which is there inside of us, not outside. So if we want to tap into our full potential, if we want to go beyond this autonomic urge to remain awake and alert and hyperactive state, we need to find progressive, sequential way to connect within, to look within, to travel within. And that's what Pratyahara is all about. Now, you might conclude from whatever I have said so far, so Avi, you are basically trying to tell me if I consciously choose to rest, that equals Pratyahara. The answer is no. Pratyahara, which is the fifth stage of Raja Yoga, it is once you have created a sense of balance in your energy system, your basic lifestyle is maintained properly, your chi, your energy is lifted up. Now, consciously, you are looking within. And now that you're looking within, one of the first stage is you want to make sure that you are well rested. Your energy is well managed, which in modern words, if I may say, we want to switch into the eco mode. That car which we want to drive around the city, we would prefer to drive in the eco mode. So the energy consumption can be less. And this journey, this attempt to shift into the eco mode is Pratyahara at the basic, fundamental level. And then Pratyahara takes many forms, not only just withdrawing the awareness from the outside world and we come within, we also use Pratyahara to become silent. The word silent and the word listen, they use the same alphabets. So if you want to listen, we need to become silent. We need to come within and find a safe sanctuary within us. And as I'm telling you this, I am quite sure you are fading away from time to time. As you're listening to me, and I'm trying to make to the best of my ability sound interesting, but it might be going in your head, okay, he's talking and in 30 minutes I have the Abhyanga. Oh my God, I can't wait for the massage. Oh, I'm starting to feel a little hungry and I can't wait for the great, nice sambar and the good food that is waiting for me. So things are happening, right? This is human mind. Or you are there and you hear a bird out there or a squirrel running around, and your mind jumps out. So Pratyahara can become a practice where we can invite our mind to stay within for an extended period of time. One of my master taught me this. In today's world, devil or evil has a name, and that name is distraction. Anything that distracts you from the path is evil. And so if I want to stick to this philosophy, then Pratyahara is more overpowering the evil and harnessing spiritual awareness so that we can go within. I know most of you have been sipping some good herbal tea. Once you finish, I want to guide you through this practice. By the way, you can also understand Pratyahara, and I'm purely talking from psychological point of view right now. Pratyahara is your mental housekeeping, so which naturally takes place every night when you are putting your head on the pillow and you're going to sleep. If you understand the psychobiology, the size of the brain actually shrinks. And when the brain shrinks, on the cortex, there are these grooves through which there's a sticky fluid flows, which is not blood, by the way, and it is a cerebrospinal fluid. And this fluid takes out all the garbage that is an outcome, metabolic waste from all the overthinking. Now, the efficient way to trigger this cerebrospinal fluid and to do the housekeeping is practicing of Pratyahara. When you allow your mind to rest, you find yourself that you can very consciously release and let go of repetitive thoughts. In the default mode, we think if we continue to think, we are going to get smarter. If you continue to think, we will find a solution to our problems. But the reality is pretty much 90% of the thoughts are repetitive. So the thinking is happening like a hamster running on the wheel. We are not necessarily finding a solution. We are keeping ourselves busy, not productive. So a few minutes of Pratyahara can do wonder. And obviously, the first stage will be to practice relaxation. I'm sure you can practice with the yoga teacher present over in the IVAC some yoga nidra practices. And it is that particular meditation where you are officially allowed to even enter into the state of sleep and snore, and still after 20 minutes when you come out, you can proudly say that I was practicing yoga. So things can get better than this, literally. Yeah, so it's a super cool way of dealing with your mental garbage and take care of the housekeeping, where you are officially allowed to rest, snore even, though preferably you should not, but even if you do that, it's okay, we can live with that. So without boring you for the next several minutes, can I gently invite you to get into a practice? Please nod your head this way or this way. This will be no, this will be yes. Okay, I'm getting some mixed signal. I will take this as a positive thing that you want to rest a bit. Okay, so pretty simple thing that we will do. And yeah, the idea of yoga nidra, a lot of time we think, oh, I want to practice meditation. So what do I need to do? I need to wear my linen clothes, put my rudraksha, burn an incense stick, and face the east, and need to practice in the Brahma Muhurta. and so many mumbo jumbo we associate with the practice that we actually don't end up in doing the practice. Yeah, so please, let's not set our mind that if I'm not getting to eat a Michelin star meal, I will starve myself to death. Doesn't make sense to that. So invitation here is, let's do few minutes of practice, and most of you can, when you go back home, you can do this practice in being on a chair and for a few minutes, and it will be quite interesting, I think. So without any further ado, may I please request you to place your both the feet on the floor and to lean back, rest on those chairs which are pretty comfortable, and you rest your hands on top of your lap. Yeah. Head, neck and spine almost in a straight line. You can close your eyes with a happy face. And why I'm using the word happy face, because how often do we get to take an afternoon nap that's also guided? So take full advantage of it and allow yourself to rest in this here and now. Remember one important fact: Pratyahara is not concentration. Pratyahara is like the way you ask your toddler to return back from playing around to a restful state. In the same way you approach your mind. So there's lots of love and care and understanding. There's a lot of gentleness in this practice. And one said that as you're keeping your eyes closed, see if there's any way you can enhance the state of comfort. Maybe you can drop the shoulders down, maybe you can lean back more on the chair, maybe you can stretch your legs. Adjust your position, your clothes in such a way that you can become restful. You don't have to keep your back straight. So what you're trying to do now is to create an effortlessness. Scan your body from toes till top of the head and create a sense of effortlessness within your body. Like a rag doll, drop the shoulders, drop the jaws, relax your facial muscles. Minimize any jittery movement and allow the body to enter into stillness. Stillness will be possible when you know experientially that you are safe. Maybe now is a good time to remind yourself that you are in a safe environment and you are safe enough to shift your mind from an hyper-vigilant to the external world, and you can start looking within. As you look within, make a resolve that you want to rest. You want to experience a deep state of rest. Now, mentally see yourself well rested. And breath by breath, surrender the whole weight of the body to the chair. I'm going to name now some parts of the body, and as I do so, feel the body parts and relax them without any physical movement. When I will call the name of the body part, you have to infuse the body with sparkles of light. Stay present and feel your right arm. Relax your right arm. Right shoulder. The right leg. The entire right side of the body. Relax the entire right side of the body. Feel the right side of your body is becoming soft and heavy. And now shift the focus to the left. Relax the left arm. Left leg. The entire left side of the body. Now bring the focus to your back. Feel the spine, your back, and feel the body resting in contact with the chair. And being aware of the body, start counting your breathing in the reverse order from 11 back to 1. The word pratyahara means reversing the feeding of the senses. So the senses which was focusing outward, now they are looking within, and with every exhalation they are connected to the sensation of touch, smell, taste, the sounds that are generating from within. And now, wherever you are with the breathing, let go of the counting. Consciously connect with the body, observe the body, the sensations within the body. Check if you felt any restfulness in the short, micro, mini Pratyahara practice. Take few slow, deep breaths to reconnect to the world around you. And before you open your eyes, remember once again the intention where you see yourself relaxed and in good health. And then you can open your eyes. If there's anything positive that you're experiencing right now, just acknowledge if you can feel any restfulness in a 7 minutes practice. What can you do in a 7 hours of sleep? Or if you do an hour of yoga nidra, multiply that. And if you know compounding, you know the effect can be in manifold. So that is Pratyahara, and there are some ways that you can introduce Pratyahara in your daily life to enhance your mental, emotional well-being and hygiene. So these are some of the suggestions. Feel free to not to adapt to all of them, or you can modify them. I normally recommend this to all the people I work with who want to improve their metabolism and to drop some extra weight from the body, or they're into this compulsive eating habits, to do few minutes of meditation before they have their meal. And this helps a lot in having a better hormonal flow in the body, and they can really gain a lot out of that practice. So meditate before you have your lunch. We used to have this as a tradition to do the prayers before eating. You can extend that or modify that with a 5-10 minutes of yoga nidra before lunch, and this will do good to you. Keep in mind, resting leads you to reflection. Not all the Pratyahara practice is about to enter into sleep or just to rest in a passive way. There are Pratyaharas where we learn in a progressive manner, like a Vipassana practice, We want to watch the content of the mind, and you can do that. This is not a fight or creating a conflict with the mind, and you're not telling yourself don't think or think only the good thoughts. No, pratyahara is about giving a freedom to your mind and taking a step back. And this creates a deep sense of relaxation as a first step. And the second stage is also we learn to, or we become aware of our own patterns. And once you get to see the patterns that are governing your life, there's a high probability of you to manage your life in a fantastic way. And the third suggested advice is this: take baby steps. Don't make big promises that from tomorrow onwards I'm going to meditate for half an hour while I stand on my one foot at 4 a.m. in the morning facing the east till the sunrise happens. Some of you might end up in doing it. Congratulations for that. But 2 minutes here and there, not while you are driving your car, okay? Just to take a pause and say, okay, I like that what you're doing right now. Can I just smile a bit, not only with my lips, but also with my neck, shoulder, relax the body and be present to myself. And that is pratyahara. That is the baby step of pratyahara. So if you will apply this, you can be rest assured your mental, your emotional well-being will be highly effective, and you can eventually become a peak performer in whichever field you are in. I'm not referring to the only professional world, but also in your personal life. We all deserve to be a well-rested, calm partner. No, you don't want to be agitated when your kids are back home, when you're talking to your partner. We like to be friends with people who are calm and happy and well-rested, restful. So that would be all. And if you have any questions, we have just a couple of minutes to talk. I'm all ears.
Sir, I just have one question and one request. The question is, the 7-minute exercise that you got us to do now, is this, let's say, a part of Pratyahara?
It is.
And if you go back to 2 slides before the one which wrote Pratyahara, you had some, before this and before this. I would like to just, I wanted to see these two. Okay. So the answer to my question is, I know Pratyahara may be much more than what we just did, but is that a glimpse of what Pratyahara is all about?
Correct. So what we have done now is, as I mentioned it, Pratyahara is, as you said, it's a much vaster science. Exploration of the mind, transformation of the mind is there. But nothing will happen unless we are rested. So no matter how strong is my intention to study Shakespeare, I first have to learn the ABC of the subject before I explore Shakespeare. In the same manner, unless I am deeply rested, the possibility to enhance our performance in any domain is quite limited. So we use Pratyahara to address this need at the beginning, that to create a deep sense of restfulness, and then we start working with the mind, where we invite clarity in our thoughts, guiding our thoughts in specific direction, and so on and so forth.
To elaborate on that, sir, would you say that, for example, I have to make a speech and there's an audience of 400 sitting there and I have butterflies in my stomach, and if I take a minute or 2 or 3 to, as you say, get into that restful mode, that would help us in our performance, peak performance?
Absolutely. And if I can be brutally honest with you, before I did this talk today, I was doing my own Pratyahara practice. Because this public speaking is not fun at all. To see many eyes glaring at you, even through a Zoom call, is quite intimidating. So I always find it a point that before any addressing to a gathering, I will spend some time in Pratyahara. Not too more long, but 7 minutes, 10 minutes is good to regulate my anxiousness. And that's why the name of this talk was Panic to Pratyahara, to bring ourselves in a restful state.
Sir, does Pratyahara help us to get relief from the constant neck pain or knee pain or any kind of pain?
I will put it in this way: Pratyahara will add in the healing process. When you are not conscious about the accumulation of tension and contractions in your body, Pratyahara will help you to make the body parts to a large extent soft and relaxed. Only Pratyahara will help, but will not be as effective as if we combined it with the regular Abhyanga or yoga postures or breathing practice. So when we combine all of them together, the effect will be way much more profound, faster, deeper, and more sustainable.
Sir, thank you very much for this presentation. I want to ask you one more question. Supposing we don't get sleep on time, sometimes we struggle for sleep. That time, how to get faster sleep through Pratyahara?
As we are talking about Pratyahara, so I'm trying to give you answers which are more from this Pratyahara perspective. But if you ask me in generally this question, I will definitely say if you're not able to fall asleep, one thing to explore will be the diet. Another thing will be to explore your overall lifestyle, how much activities are present in your life, what's your stress level. All of those things will be important. But if we want to use Pratyahara to enhance the quality of our sleep, one of the easiest way is, there was a moment when I asked to do the counting from 11 back to 1. That can take the form of 108 back to 1 or 1008 back to 1 or whatever the infinite number back to 1. And that gives you enough time to observe your breathing pattern. And the breathing pattern is proportional to, or they trigger the kind of calming hormones that are essential for us to go to sleep. If you are not in a rest and digest mode, the sleep is a distant reality. You cannot hold a gun on somebody's head and ask, okay, now you have to sleep. And sometimes we have an imaginary gun on our head. We are too anxious. So Pratyahara will help in calming the person, which will result in sleep invitation. We definitely use Pratyahara a lot dealing with insomnia. And it's a very, very effective tool that, globally speaking, I think 50% of the people who practice Yoga Nidra, they don't do Yoga Nidra because they need to do Yoga Nidra. They do Yoga Nidra because they know halfway they can fall asleep. That's a reality. You can check with the yoga teachers also.
For 7 minutes.
So thank you, everybody. for being here with me. Thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing yourself to listen and to pay attention. That felt good. And hope we get to hear each other soon.